and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So give me just 1 second here. We're going to share this screen. And we are moving over to our advanced getting started now. So thank you guys so much for being on here today, and just honored and excited to help you with this next step in your business. So this is our brand partner timeline, and you might see yourself in different spots right here, or you might be thinking about your team as you're getting them started. And so this kind of think about this in kind of a couple of different ways. I'm going to tell you what I do with the people that trusted me to get started. So first of all, when they get enrolled, so they are brand new, I'm going to make sure that they're comfortable with boards. That is a key component of what we have here. And if they don't know how to use it, then they're going to, be working this business with one hand tied behind their back. So I want to make sure they're super comfortable there. Next, I'm going to make at least their first post with them. That first post is terrifying. We all know it. We've all had to do it, right? We've done it. And the only way we're going to win here, though, is if we post. So I try to make that first one with them, and maybe even schedule that first week, because that's going to set them up for success. They're going to know how to do it. And I'm going to hold their hand so it feels a little bit easier because they're doing it with a partner. I'm going to invite them to Partner Co-Nation or business groups. So if you have a team group, you want to make sure that they're in there. But a big one, we want to make sure they're in Partner Co-Nation, they're on Telegram, and they've joined our specific Telegram channel, and that they've been invited to the IPA soon. So they have all of those tools in their tool belt. And then once they start moving boxes, I want to make sure that they understand the customer conversion flow, that they know, how to use Pirate Ship. They know how to, follow up with their customers throughout those critical points in their business, so that they're not leaving anybody behind. Because we know our goal here is to create those raving fans so that we can have that future business, right? It's not just about today, it's about today and forevermore. Then, as soon as they achieve gold and ultimate, I want to make sure that their subscription is on. We want to make sure that they can get paid. That's a big component of what we do here. So we want to make sure that that happens, that we've enrolled them in direct deposit so that paycheck hits their bank account, and that they know what to do with their next box of drops. So, they've already achieved ultimate. That next order, we've got to make sure that we place that under somebody else so that they earn that extra new volume bonus, which is a big part of the comp plan. And then as they're starting a team, I've got to show them where to look in the back office so they know what's going on in their business, where to place their next order, how to see where they're at, what their volume's looking at, who on their team is doing different things. So these are where kind of the touch points that I want to make sure that I'm holding the hands of my brand partners. So first of all, one of the big ways that we can do that is we can help our hive thrives. So we talk a lot about worker bees, right? Like our goal is to be a worker bee and to attract worker bees to us. And we want to help those bees have success. So this right here on boards is designed to help everybody get started. So there's little tiny training videos. It's going to show you how to use boards, how to get your toolbox loaded. All of that is in there. And your board that your leader sent you might look a little bit different. Just know that the resources are built in there. So go through your board. If it looks different, that's okay. Other leaders have different boards. This is kind of the generic one. You're always welcome to it, but if you're using something different, don't fret. You're going to have those resources in there as well, okay? Next, we want to make sure that you have your subscription set up and your team has that. And sometimes people can get a little confused about the subscription. They're like, oh, it's a monthly subscription, but maybe it came out twice this month, different things like that. Here's why. Our subscriptions are built the way we're paid. So they are based on a 4-week cycle, because guess what? We get paid every week. So some months we get 5 paychecks, right? Because we have that 5th week in the month. That's fantastic. We love it. Which also means that some months we might have 2 subscriptions because it's every 4 weeks. The good thing is our products are designed to run out in those 4 weeks. So we're not buying product we don't need, but it is going to go on a rolling 4-week calendar. So this month I might be at the beginning of the month but then I might have one at the end. And it's just going to kind of move around the month. So we just want to make sure that we're following our color week. So how do we find it? When you log in, this is on a phone. I like to do it on my computer because I'm middle-aged and it's a little bit bigger there, so I can see it a little bit better. But you can do it on your phone as well. And if you scroll to the bottom of your dashboard in your back office, you will see a big circle, biggish, that's got a color and it says your qualifying week. Okay, so I just need to remember green. And when I go into my subscription, it's going to tell me again, I'm green. So I want to make sure that when I look at my next run date, it's green as well. Okay. So I'm just, and yours might be purple. You just want to make sure it's purple, purple, purple. Okay. We want to make it match. We're going to be matchy in here. So to set it up, I'm going to click on the little truck. I'm going to click subscribe in my back office. And if I don't have a subscription, it's going to say set up a new subscription. If I have one, it's going to tell me to manage it. And then I'm going to go choose my product. And I'll tell you my logic behind this. I don't get the drops on my subscription. Why? Because I buy them in bulk and it's cheaper. So I would rather spend, the $78 because I buy a lot of 30 packs, or the $80 because I might get a 10 pack than to buy it for $123. Right? That doesn't make sense to me to spend $30 more. So in my subscription, I am going to get the products that are helping me on my health journey. I say Renew and a superfood. Okay. For you, it might be Renew and Advantage, right? So you can get that 6-pack like Dave on here, whatever it looks like for you. But I would recommend, I'm going to say that Renew is a very powerful product that's going to help you on with your transformation. So I'm going to recommend that. And then any other, product that you want to combine with it, I'm going to add it to my cart. And then I'm going to pick my subscription date. And I'm going to click in there and it's going to open up a calendar. Again, I'm looking for my matching color and I'm going to find the closest one to today. Okay. So let's say that I put it out 3 months, but I pick green. Well, I'm going to show that I'm out of qualification and the back office is going to try to prompt me to fix my date. So just know, maybe you made a mistake. Okay. Partner Co does not want to keep your paycheck. So call them and say, oopsie, I made a mistake. I put my subscription out, 2 months in advance by accident, and I didn't get paid this week. They will fix it. We do not have tripwires. They want us to get paid and they want us to be happy with Partner Co. So just know we want to match it. We want to do our best. But if a mistake happens, don't fret. Just call customer support, the number's on boards, and they will help you get it fixed. I would recommend don't call on Monday because everybody's calling on Monday. Try to call Tuesday or beyond, and your life will be a little bit easier. Next, we want to set up our direct deposit. And again, we're going to log into our back office. We're going to go down to My Money, and then we're going to go to Partner Co Pay. And when you open that up, you will see a variety of options. We want direct deposit. So sometimes people will see e-wallet or they'll see some other options. Please do direct deposit because that's going to deposit directly in your bank account. And that's where you want your money. That's where I want my money. So let's go to that bank account. We're going to click the plus sign next to Partner Co Pay. And you may need to add your social security number because as soon as you've made $600 or more, the company cannot pay us after that for tax purposes. So you want to go ahead and make sure you're adding that. But we're going to go into Partner Co Pay. We're going to click that plus sign. I'm going to go down to direct deposit. And I have a very important question for you. How much of your paycheck do you want? I want all of mine. I think you want all of yours. So make sure that you put 100% right here to the left of where it says direct deposit. Then you're going to put in your banking information. You're going to hit submit here. And at the bottom, it's going to ask you again, how much of your paycheck are you getting? Make sure it says 100 and then click save. And this is banking. So just know you're going to have to submit and save and submit and save. And you need to make sure your bank account's good, all of that stuff. But again, there's no tripwires. So if something happens and you transposed your numbers or you told it you wanted 0% of your paycheck and you didn't get paid, call customer support. They will make sure that you get your money. They're not trying to keep it. So we just want to make sure that we do this carefully, but if there's a mistake, don't fret. They will fix it. Okay. Next is how to find our volume. One of the first questions that I get from somebody, they're like, I have somebody to enroll. Where do I put them? Where do they go? Okay. How do we check that? We're going to go again to My Money. It's my favorite part of the back office. And then I'm going to go down to volume, and it's going to open up a report that looks something like this. Okay. Yours is going to be different. You might have 5 lines. You might have 3 lines. You might have 1 line. Okay. Because you're just getting started. But our goal is to have at least 2, okay? And there's going to be some numbers in this. This is our base commissionable volume, so just one of the ways that we get paid. And if I'm looking on where to place my next person, I want to think about these as my red line, right? And my green line. And red, we're going to say means stop, okay? So if I have this red line here and it's time for me to place a new person, I know that I'm going to place it in my smaller line. Okay. Now, if I'm growing quickly, I'm like Dave on here, and he's like, I went from 0 to vice president in 4.5 seconds. This line is probably going to flip flop all week long. Okay. So every time I go to place somebody, I'm going to go look here and I'm going to check. Okay. So right now, my line 1 is my green line. So I'm going to place there. 15 minutes later, my line 2 might be my green line. So I better go look before I make my next placement. So before I place anybody, I'm going to be looking in my back office to see where I want to put them. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're checking that before you place anybody. Now, the next thing is if I click on these, it gives me some clues to my business. So if I click on that, it's going to open up a report. And in that report, it's going to show me all of the orders that make up that volume. I'm going to sort it by order type because I want to see the regular orders. I'm not necessarily concerned about the subscription orders. Do I love them? Yeah. Do they pay my mortgage? Yeah. Am I excited about them? Absolutely. But I'm going to focus on my regular orders, and I'm going to look at a couple things in here. Okay. I'm going to look at their name and their email address. Do they match? If they don't, then most likely Josh is the person I want to be working with because he's placing orders under Kate. Okay. So I'm just going to look at that. I might jot down Josh on a piece of paper as somebody that's ordering under somebody else. And then the other thing I'm going to look at is my PV total. Now, what am I looking for over here in my PV? I want to see if it is divisible by our packages, our drop packages. So is it 208? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it 1,500? Why? Because then I know if the person's running the system of growth and if there's been a little hiccup. Am I going to reprimand them? Absolutely not. I'm not their mama and I'm definitely not their boss. So I better be really respectful in this relationship, but I will love on them. And so here Aretha is a great example. She's 576. And if I click on the details, I can see that order. And what I would see in this one is she actually ordered 11 boxes of drops. And I'm like, oh no, she spent like $40 extra on that 11th box. So I'm going to call her and I'm not going to say, oh, Aretha, you threw away money, because then she's going to be mad at me, right? I don't want that. But I am going to call her and say, oh my goodness, congratulations. Listen, next time when you get that extra box, let's pre-sell for a couple days. We're going to hold that order. We're going to pre-sell for a couple days and get to at least a 4-pack so you can save at least $40 on that box, right? And so I'm just going to let her know because she might not have thought about it, right? So I want to be able to save her a little bit of money. So we're just going to go see what's going on here to see if somebody needs a little loving course correcting. Now, the next way I'm going to help my people is I'm going to look at my striking distance. And this is one of my favorite volume and striking distance. They're right there. I love them both because this tells me what's going on in the organization and who I can help. And so I personally sort by current week, and I always focus on week 3. If you've never looked at this before, you got to start with week 4, and then you'll have to go back. But as you know, to get to ultimate here, it takes 1500 PV, and we've got 4 weeks to do it. So if I'm at week 4 and I'm at business level, I only have a couple of days, right? If I didn't look at this, I look at this every Wednesday. And if I do Wednesday to the week 3, I've got about 10 days to get you to wherever you need to go. If I look at it and it's week 4 and it's Wednesday, I only have 2 days, right? If I look on Friday, that's it, right? So we want to make sure that we give ourselves enough time to help people. But what I look at, and I'm going to have a piece of paper in my hand, and I'm going to be jotting these down, and I'm going to have categories. I'm going to have people that are not ultimate, people that are ultimate, and then people that are placing orders under somebody else. Now, the orders under somebody else, we already got in that volume report when we compared email addresses. So we wrote down Josh, right, from the previous screen there. But on this one, for ultimate, I'm going to write down Madonna, right, because she's there. She's already there. Congratulations. She's a rock star. Now, next, we've got Tina, right? She needs 192. So I'm going to put her in the not there yet column. So I'm going to write Tina with a little 192. Okay, I like to circle it. You don't have to. Then Whitney, I'm going to write down 424. Dolly, I'm going to write down 500. We're going to put Olivia and Stevie on those ultimate columns. Okay, I'm going to write down every single person, and they're going to fall in some category on my report. Okay, on my paper. And then I'm going to go work the phone lines. Okay, I'm going to start calling people. Now, I'm going to have a couple of different categories that I'm going to call. First of all, anybody that is on week 3 and they're not ultimate yet, I'm going to love on them from where they are. Oh my goodness, congratulations, you are elite. And let's go celebrate in your kitchen, right? I'm going to explain what elite gets them. And then I'm going to say, you know what? You're only 192 PV away from getting ultimate. Do you know what the value of ultimate is? And I'm going to explain it. And guess what? If you don't know, pull in the person that got you started, right? Pull them into this call. We love doing these calls because they're fun, right? And I'm going to go create an action plan with Tina to go get that 192. So maybe that means that we're going to go do a Facebook Live to attract some more people to her Facebook page. And maybe we're going to get some sales. Maybe I am going to go and say, let's go have a quick event at your house tomorrow night. I'm going to come over, invite all the neighborhood ladies, and we're going to go see if we can get some pre-orders so that you need to order some. Whatever I can do to go help her move those 4 more boxes to need that 208 that will more than get rid of that 192, I'm going to go do with her. Now, the next category is anybody that is ultimate that I haven't celebrated yet. So, oh my gosh, Chris, you are a rock star. You are already ultimate, and we're going to dance in the kitchen, right? We're going to do it. And so I'm going to love on him. And then I'm going to say, hey, you want to get together? Let's do an event. Like, how can I help him take his business to the next level? And then same with anybody that's ordering boxes under somebody else. So Dave, I see your email. You're placing orders under other people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Dave, how many boxes have you moved? And you're like, well, dang, I've been here 3 weeks. I've already moved 50 boxes. And we're going to say, woohoo, congratulations. We're going to celebrate you. And then I'm like, well, hey, are those local or are they kind of all over? And you're like, oh my gosh, I've got somebody in Massachusetts and somebody here. And I'm like, let's do a virtual drop talk. Let's get them all together and let's go see if we can convert them into brand partners. Okay. So I'm going to offer something to each category of people. And which brings us to our drop talks. And we're going to be quick. We're almost done here. I know we're running over, so bear with me. But you can call it whatever you want. Customer appreciation event, a drop talk, hormones and health. I don't care. I don't care what you call it. They all look the same. We use the slide deck from Bortz. And our goal is, if it's online, it's 15 minutes, truly. Like, none of us have attention span. We're all busy. So if we're doing this virtually, our goal is 15 minutes. If we're doing it in person, I say 1 babysitter hour, showing my momness right here. But what is a babysitter hour? That means that the person can get in their car, drive to my house, see my entire presentation, maybe, eat a cookie, get in the car and get home, all with 1 babysitter hour. Now, if they choose to hang out and like schmooze with us after and ask a bunch of questions, cool, that's on them, right? But everything that I need to do has to be in that 1 hour. And with the driving time, that means I have about 15 to 20 minutes to talk. Okay. And we want to make this short, simple, duplicatable, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Sometimes people will say, oh, I've got to have approved brownies and blah, 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 blah. uh, as a speaker that comes in, I'm like, heck yeah, make the brownies because I'm greedy and I want to eat them. But truly, that doesn't matter. I have little bottles of water or some cups out and bring people in. The more simple it is, the simpler it is, however you say that, the more duplicatable it is. Because what we want is when that person comes in, they go, that was pretty simple. I could do that too. Okay. Either doing online or in person. We want it to be duplicatable. So, what does it look like? We welcome them in. We say, hey, this is my 2-minute story, right? I just got started. I lost 22 pounds. I'm 58 and I have ab muscles again. Cannot wait, and in that process, I've earned, I can't do the math, but a lot of money, right? I've made a lot of money in such a short amount of time. I'm excited for you to show it or benefit from it as well. And then we open up that conversion slide deck that's on boards, right? The same one that we did in the Zoom call before. And we walk them through. This is some of the things that we see when our hormones are out of balance. Here's the company bringing these drops to the market. We got a bunch of products. It's not just these, but this is the one we focus on. They're all backed by science, derived from nature. Here's some of our experts, and then comes with an approved food list, but the drops make it so you can stick with it. And here's before and after, before and after, before and after, before and after, and here's how you can get involved. Okay. And we're going to do it about that fast, right? It's going to be quick. And then we're going to allow them to ask their questions. Do you need an expert there? No. You and a buddy, right? I just want you and somebody else. And that somebody else can be virtual because we just want to show them that it's not just us. We have a team. So we might be able to be there in person, but most likely the person will join you via Zoom or a FaceTime call. And that's perfectly perfect. We want to just know that it's something bigger than just you and I. Okay. So that's really all we had there. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. And I know we're running a little long, so I apologize.